Hi guys, welcome to a brand new Q&A series on my channel. I hope you're all well. Thanks for joining us. Welcome David to the stream. How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, very good, thanks. You know, it's difficult to get too excited or too not excited or too upset about FPL right now. Bearing in mind, I just can't control any of it. It's just it's just chaos.
It is.
So
chaos.
I'm happy just to kind of just let the chaos be chaos, I suppose.
Yeah.
And just go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Okay, guys, as this is a new series, please do let me know if everything's looking and sounding okay in the chat so that I know if there's anything we need to fix. But you guys have already been well ahead of us with getting those questions in on Twitter. So anyone who wants to get questions in on Twitter, there's a thread there, and we'll be answering questions from that thread. It's at FPL in capital letters and then a capital N, lowercase y and a lowercase m, so you can just add it to the others. If not, get your question in the chat here, and once we're finished with Twitter questions, we will come on over to the live stream questions, and we'll do the best we can given the information that we have, which, you know, with FPL at the moment comes thick and fast, and yeah, all over the place. So I'll start down the bottom of this thread, and our first question was from Marcus Chia, so hopefully everyone can see that on screen. And he says, best Rudiger replacement. Let's say no doubles in 23. He's looking at these options. He's looking at Cash, Digne and Laporte. If there are doubles in 23 for Aston Villa and Leeds, would you go for Cash or Digne? So he has, as I'm not sure if you can see, David, but he's got Rudiger, Trent, Cancelo, Cucurella and Soufal already.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I was thinking of Villa actually.
Yeah.
So before you said that he had the two fullbacks, I think that they're defensively they've been improving a lot under Gerrard. You know, looking at how many big chances they've conceded in the last 4 matches, for example, they've conceded 7, which is the 5th best. So only Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs and Brighton have done better than that. So they are performing quite nicely in terms of, compared to everyone else in terms of potential clean sheets on offer. But also, if you have a look at look at some of the fixtures, anyone's got a Fantasy Football Scout members area, the season ticker is amazing. So use it if you've got it.
Do.
And if you sort the next 6 game weeks by defence, then yeah, Villa come out top as well. And of course, they do have some doubles outstanding. Everton away, I mean, Everton look pretty diabolical at the moment, and yes, the manager's changed, and you know, Duncan Ferguson did an all right job of it actually when he was in the position before. I think I should just give it to him full time, but yeah, either way, they haven't exactly been you know, in particularly good form. Leeds, you never really know what you're going to get. Newcastle, Watford, Brighton, Southampton, you know, it's a combination of 6 teams that there's no teams from the big 6 in there.
Yeah.
So every chance they can keep clean sheets. Now, Cash versus Digne is tricky because I think they're the same price. They're probably both 5 flat, I guess, so as in 5.0. Just double check it.
Just check for you.
5-1 for Cash, and it's 5 for Digne. It's tricky to say. It's kind of hard to compare the two. I normally in this situation I would go and have a look at who's done what in recent matches.
Yeah.
Who's created more chances, but you obviously can't really do that yet because most of the data about Digne is going to be to do with Everton. I think my suspicion would be to go with, in these situations, to go with the guy who is more embedded in the team. And so we know more about Cash as an Aston Villa player than we do about Digne as an Aston Villa player.
Yeah.
And so I'd be more inclined to go with him. But at the same time, I would expect Digne to be involved in their set pieces, which obviously is a feather in his hat as well. So I think that at this particular stage, it's quite hard to split them. So sorry to give like not an incredibly committed answer. But I think it basically just comes down to your gut. If you think Digne is going to be amazing, then go for him. If you'd rather go for a more steady option, then go with Cash. And then I feel like we'll know more about what impact Dini has on that team in a couple of weeks' time, and then we can compare between the two. And it'll be annoying because if you pick the wrong one, then I'm sorry. But yeah, I think it's just we're at a point in time where we don't have enough. Really, I'm so boring. I like data to make my decisions, and we don't have enough data to compare the two. So
yeah,
if you're a boring manager, go cash. If you are a gut feel manager who likes to take risks, go Dini.
Well, I've just done a watch list video actually with Kylie this morning for Scout, Fantasy Football Scout. So it'll be going out after this stream. So make sure you go and check that out. And Dina is in that, and we give a lot more stats on that. So Marcus, it could be worth kind of checking that video out. But in terms of the 3 options, out of 3, I would go with one of the Villa lads. If not only just because I think Villa just have so many games to be rearranged that it's worth, you know, going in on one of them regardless of whether their double game week is this week or not. And to be honest, I would probably only go there this week if there is a double, because I quite like your back line anyway. And I think the fact that you have Cucurella, you know, against Leicester on the bench as well, he's a potential option to play instead of Rudiger anyway. So potentially roll maybe and then go for your Villa defender. But I do think out of those options, I prefer a Villa defender rather than Laporte for the City double up, although, you know, City have been good at the back. So, you know, that's a tough one. Okay, moving on to FPL Commander. He says, I'm thinking of getting some money, excuse me, in the bank, but who should I replace for him now? Oh, is that following on from... he's got... I'm assuming he probably means a Chelsea defender as well. He's got Teenley... So he's got Teenley at Burnley and wants to hold long term. Oh, so he just wants to get some cash in the bank.
No,
sorry.
hold on. No, I think he means he's going to get Matty Cash in.
Oh, right, okay. Is that following on from another question? Oh, okay, as in he's used the cash. You're trying to catch me out there.
I know, it's yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
See, the thing is, I'm a dad, so it's a dad joke, and I can read and speak dad joke fluently, so that's clearly what it is.
It's clearly the dad card.
He wants cash as well.
He wants cash in. Okay, I'm with you. But who should I replace for him? Tinley against Burnley. He's got Tinley, who wants to hold long term. Dalla at West Ham. Good fixtures to come. Dawson, Man U, but have some easy fixtures to plant bullet headers in of yesteryears. So yeah, that's clearly why I went Dawson as well. Who would you be getting rid of out of that lot for cash?
I think it'd probably be Dawson. I don't think there was ever a point really where I thought that West Ham were worth investing in defensively. Really. Yeah. I know that. See, this. I mean, I'm going to go on a complete interlude here. Ooh. In the build up to West Ham's double game week, it was 21. Like, yes. There was a lot of groupthink around. Oh, we just got to get in everyone. Do you need 3 West Ham? You don't really. I mean, I already had Bowen. I didn't sign Antonio, and I didn't sign a West Ham defender.
All
Captain
right.
Bowen.
Rabbit it.
Like a 50k green arrow.
I was like a moth to the flame. Double game week, I'll have them all.
Oh, man. It's like that bit at the end of Wreck-It Ralph when with the Mentos.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
I got in Dawson, I got in Antonio. I already had Bowen, but you know.
The second that someone says bullet header, it just makes everyone be like, oh, I need one of them.
It's I'll have that. Yeah.
You don't even know you're going to get one. So just looking at them defensively over the last 4, you know, they conceded 9 big chances. They're sort of like, there's about 8 teams that are worse off than that, but there's like another 8 or 9 that are better. So they're pretty middling in the table. So, you know, that's what I mean. Like, there's not like a great amount here to assume that they're going to keep clean sheets. They're playing Man United, which obviously, you know, is a more difficult fixture than, you know, I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful to West Ham here because obviously Dallo has West Ham.
Yeah.
Who's wanted to keep a clean sheet? I mean, it's tough because United's defence hasn't exactly looked great. Ooh. You know, it's been not as bad. But I mean, the thing is that I would imagine Dawson will get you, selling him will get you more cash in the bank, really. And I'm going to assume, I mean, the thing is, with these sorts of questions, I am just going to assume that his other 2 defenders surely must be Trent and Cancelo.
You'd think so.
They're not going to be anybody else. And if they're not, why not, is my answer. And so, Yeah, I think I would go Dawson because I just don't really fancy it. And United obviously have some doubles. Dallow's place, I don't know, not necessarily completely locked in. Would I be right in saying that? I mean, he's missed a couple of games.
Yeah, he's missed a
Maybe it is
couple.
close between those two, but the other option was what, Tierney. I wouldn't get rid of him because I mean Burnley at home. They obviously don't have Wood anymore, so I'd be very concerned about what they can offer going forward. And Tierney obviously has goal and assist in his last two.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be selling him ahead of a game against Burnley. Now the only reason why you might be selling him is if Burnley decide to get another game cancelled. Obviously, keep an eye. I suppose that's the caveat with all these questions, isn't it? Like, we
just
say
keep your eyes open.
But if by the deadline any of these games are gone, then yeah, get rid of Tierney and keep Dallow and Dawson. So I've said that now. So at the very least, I've caveated it so that part of the video is still relevant if that game gets cancelled between now.
I love how you're thinking of the longevity of my content. I like that very much. Thank you so much.
Not enough people think about that. There's not enough people out there thinking about, come on, these content creators. Longevity is just out the window. We could do with something. It would be nice.
Absolutely, I agree. Okay, then. I'm with you on those answers, so it's probably not much worth me weighing in on that one. Okay, so our next one was from Podwell, and he says, if Salah returns in 24, City and United still have excellent fixtures. Do we bring Salah straight back in, selling other premium assets with good fixtures and captaincy potential, or wait till game week 26 at least? Liverpool blank in game week 27. City have Everton, United at home to Watford. So the Salah debate, and I had quite a big one of these today in the old DMs on Twitter, and a big discussion on whether or not Salah will be back for 24. And I think the next match is potentially on Wednesday, which means that if Egypt go out on Wednesday, then I think that gives Salah plenty of time to be back for game week 24, because game week 24 doesn't start until the Tuesday afterwards, where Liverpool don't actually play until the Thursday. Now, if they manage to get through the next match, I think their next match after that would be Sunday, of which a lot of people are assuming if they're lucky enough to make it through the Wednesday match, that they won't make it through the Sunday match. And if that is the case, then he'll be home late Sunday, early Monday, which still gives Salah until Thursday before Liverpool play. So I think that pretty much seals Salah back, I would assume, unless Egypt do a madness, which, fair play to them if they do.
Anything can happen in an AFCON, to be fair.
That is very true.
So chaotic.
Very true. But I think at the moment we're assuming, just based on those numbers and the amount of time, that he will be back for game week 24. So that puts a lot of people, I think, in a more difficult situation potentially than what they would have been in, David, because quite a few people, engaged managers, let's say, have gone for Bruno. So as Prodwell is saying, that kind of throws things up in the air a little bit, and that makes it a little bit exciting for me. I really am hoping Salah is back 24, and I hope it gives Bruno owners a big dilemma on what they have to do.
Sound very vindictive.
Yes.
Well, you sound like someone who doesn't own Bruno.
Well, exactly. Honestly. I've got to get my pluses somewhere.
So it's so biased. I mean, honestly, it's disgraceful.
Oh, how terrible.
Yeah, I don't own him either, to be fair. And actually, I'm going to shock everyone here. I actually still have Salah. I haven't sold him yet.
Nice. Okay.
So the thing is, I love these sorts of questions because, it makes me want to hold him more because, I mean, yes, I could maybe just get Bruno, but I don't know. It just depends. I mean, if Egypt are going to be coming back for 24, I'm not going to go and get Bruno for 1 week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. Leicester, Burnley, and Norwich, and it could theoretically be Salah's first three back. And oh man, does he like scoring against Leicester? Leicester's defense doesn't look great. Hasn't looked great for a little while. They actually have conceded more big chances in the last four than any team.
Yeah.
They're officially statistically the worst defence right now. Worse than Leeds, Newcastle, Norwich, all sorts. So if that's his first game back and they haven't sorted those problems out, he's going to bang, you'd think. Then Burnley obviously haven't played football since last year, I think. So, they're going to be out of practice, you'd like to think, especially facing him.
It has been an age since we've seen Burnley on a football pitch. I actually wondered if they'd gone on their summer holidays already. Just be like, it's a new year. Do we want to play football? Not really. We'd just rather, go away on holiday. Well, we're allowed out of the country now, so
they could go anywhere in the world and it'd still be warmer than Burnley.
That's true.
They'd probably go and have their summer holiday in December in Scarborough. I feel like that's what Sean Dyche would let them do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Salah against them. Salah against Burnley, like you want to own him for that. And then Norwich afterwards. Yeah, they blank in 27. Yeah. But I love these situations. Chaos, as I've said on another podcast this week, is a ladder. When these things happen, when someone comes back and you're sat there, you don't own him, and you can't get to him without major surgery, you are possibly going to be in a pickle. And if you're sat there with a way to get to him quite easily, then I think you're going to be in a good position. So I think I want to try and be as specific as I can, but I still feel like it's largely hypothetical, as you've already alluded to with your explanation of what the timeline is. Because if we get to the, we know obviously he isn't going to be around for 23. And so then for 24, we'll obviously have some press conferences. And so there will be, if Egypt are out and he's on his way home, like the first question the journalists are going to ask him is Salah going to be fit? And Klopp will probably say, something like, we don't know for sure. And
loving
or maybe
he'll say,
he'll play for sure. He'll say one of the two. He'll say one of the two, and we'll get an idea.
Even Salah, like 30 minutes though off of the bench.
Well,
he's Mo Salah, isn't he? Against Leicester,
Yeah, absolutely. So he can definitely do something. So I think if he's going to be fit, find some way to get him. And I would just have it at the back of your mind to try and make sure you've got a route to him. So try and maintain your structure between now and then, so that you're not having to take super hits to get Bruno out, to get Salah back in. I wouldn't want you to.
There'll be some people with enough money in the bank that can have both. I mean, especially if they haven't gone like Ronaldo or anything, they might be able to afford both. But
that might be the case.
Liverpool aren't the only ones who blank in 27, right? So this could be a potential free hit week anyway. And so if you're avoiding Salah just because he has a blank, in game week 27, that could be, very hurtful, I think, potentially when excuse me, at the moment, we United have Watford and City have Everton. You could, if your team isn't too damaged by the blank, you could just move Salah onto KDB for a week or onto Bruno for the week if both of those players are still performing by that point. I know it's kind of a jump off to jump back on again potentially, but you may also find yourself in a situation where if I go for Salah, for instance, and with a Chelsea defender at the moment, I could be staring at a free hit, and if you're staring at a free hit anyway, then you'll lose Salah for 1 week in the free hit, but you'll have him right back there again a week later. So
that's a good shout. I like free hits in weeks where other people aren't really thinking about it. That's when it's at its most effective. If everybody plays the free hit at the same time, and if they're an engaged manager, which they probably are after playing a free hit at that point, they'll all have the same squad. So then actually you only really gain on the people who aren't playing, which isn't really gonna do that well. Playing it in a week like that when people probably have already used both of their free hits, or who knows, we might have been given 7 free hits by that point, you never know. But playing it then, I think
I doubt it. I think we've had our free hit. I think we've had our gift for the season.
Well, fingers crossed. I've got another couple of wild cards if they've got any going spare.
Well, if they got them going spare,
Yeah, just in the back. If you got any out the back, any spare wild cards out there, I'll take one.
Yeah, we'll have them over here. Yeah, cheers, thanks.
Yeah, just it'd be like a dodgy drug deal at the back.
Just for the Nimfam. Just for the Nimfam.
Some wild cards. Yeah, that'd be nice. That would be nice. But yeah, no, I just think the bottom line is just to have a plan. and just look at your squad and just make sure there's never too many moves away. And just the only other thing I wanted to add is try and make it so you don't feel like you have to wildcard to get them back in. Because if you still got your wildcard, I think you want to be making sure you deploy that around game week 30. Like that's always the best time to play it, because then by that point we tend to know more about the double game week stretch. That the run-in chip season, as some people call it. And you need your wildcard to make sure you've got all the right players for that. And so then, just make a plan for Salah.
Yeah.
And then so that you're versatile depending on what of the different scenarios come your way in terms of when it's coming back. So,
yeah. And so just back to Podwell, I think it is potentially worth hopping off of those premium assets, to get Salah if he's back. But obviously there's a lot of caveats with that if he's back, and what we hear from Klopp off of the back of him returning as well, before you go selling proven premium players, really, I think is just to sum that one up. Okay. Gareth asks, I'm looking for a Son replacement. Foden, KDB, Rafinha. Who do you fancy this week? And captain pick as well.
What did his son do? Was he naughty at school? Or...
Love that.
I want to replace my son.
I just want to get rid of him. I have enough of him.
Like Scene and Oliver, boy for sale.
Yeah.
Only what is it? Only 10 million guineas or something, is he? How much is Son now? Interesting that someone's still got him to 10.7 million guineas he is at the moment. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, KDB looks pretty good. I mean, I suppose the obvious one is if you've got the money, go up to Bruno. What were the other alternatives again?
It was, I just came off of it.
Foden and Rafinha.
Yeah, Foden or Rafinha.
I mean, I like Rafinha. The only reason I sold him when I did, I think, was because they'd had some doubles. They had some blanks and
same. Mm-hmm.
And so I have I wildcarded in game week 20, the last possible week. That meant that I think I wildcarded him out actually. I definitely sold him like very near the end of the first wildcard period. So it basically meant I owned Rafinha from game week 1 all the way through to like 19 or 20. And him, Salah and Trent and Ben Foster, of course.
Of course.
Were the only other ones that had stayed in the whole time. And
cycling goalkeeper. Go check out his channel if you don't already.
Yeah, no, he's good luck. But I'm a big fan of Rafinha. So if you can get, I mean, the thing is, looking at that, I mean, you're going to get a lot of cash in the bank. I mean, maybe I can't see the rest of his squad necessarily unless you've got it there. But if he gets all that cash in the bank,
posted his squad.
That could, I mean, going back to the previous question, that's maybe a way of getting Salah back in a way that's not that painful.
Yeah.
When he comes back, if you put some cash in the bank from going Rafinha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to see if I can find some stats from Rafinha. I don't know if his stats have been too amazing recently. And obviously, like Harrison's done pretty well as well. He got a hat trick against West Ham.
Yeah.
Just having a look for Rafinha now. So yeah, Rafinha's stats, he's created 9 chances, 3 of them were big, which means that if we just compare that with the rest of the league, only 4 players have played more big passes than him in their last 4, but that does include Son, who's injured, Harry Winks, who you're not going to sign, and Lucas Moura, who I suppose you don't necessarily know is going to play all the time, whereas Rafinha will.
Yeah.
Rafinha hasn't done as well for goal threat as Harrison has. So Harrison has had 8 shots in the box to Rafinha's 6. They both had 2 big chances each, but Harrison's had 6 shots on target to Rafinha's 1. But at the same time, Rafinha is the more creative. So I guess it's just kind of play you prefer if you were torn between those two, for example. Leeds fixtures, Newcastle next. As anyone who knows me well, they're managed by Eddie Howe. So scoring goals against a team managed by Eddie Howe. I mean, I could do that, to be honest. I think we all could. Because he's a specialist in making sure his team gives up points from losing positions. So, I think what a great time to bring back in a Leeds attacker. And of course, they have a couple of
potentially a doubles as well.
Just have a look. They've got Aston Villa and Liverpool away are there too that they've got to have rearranged.
Mm-hmm.
And so then if you just go back to their fixtures and have a look at some of their other ones, if any of those slip into a week with Everton away, Man United at home, you don't fancy either of those defences. Leicester away, they played them in game week 28. Already talked about how terrible the Leicester defence is. So yeah, What a great! I mean, sorry, I've just gone on a complete Rafinha tangent, but
That's all right.
great player. And actually,
I think it's safe to say, Gareth,
so quickly. So speaking of
I was
Son,
going to say, you were light 1 second, and now you're in the darkness. Is that talking about Bruno?
Yeah. Well, we were talking about the sun's gone. So
that's what it was.
So the sun has gone in Plymouth. So I've just turned my light on. So hopefully I look a little bit less like sinister now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Gareth, I think David prefers Rafinha. I would be between KDB or Rafinha out of those options. I had Foden for way too long this season, and I think I've had my time. I'm kind of done with him, and until he gets on a purple patch again, I'm fine without him. So I'm pretty sure captaincy pick will come up again. So maybe we'll come back to that, and if it doesn't, then we will come back to that. Nuclear Buddy, welcome. I see you're in the chat. He has asked if we can see David's team. That's the one thing I haven't sorted on the graphics, but next time I will do that.
I'm digging out a link to the last time I tweeted it.
Yeah.
I feel called out. So I do tweet my team. I'm just grabbing it now. Just the thing is, I don't tweet it very often because our FPL deadlines are like 10 days to 2 weeks apart these days.
Yeah.
I found a link to it the last time I posted it, which was when Watford and Spurs both had a double game week that they then didn't have.
So if you repost it to me in
where am I sending it to?
Twitter, please, and I'll see if I can get that sorted for us. But in the meantime, I'll get you away with answering his questions. Bring away with answering his questions so that I can I can have a look at that. Hang on, I have to go back to it now. I've had a few more questions come in on the old Twitter since I posted. 2 seconds. Let me just get back to the thread. Should really pin this, shouldn't I, so I know where I am. Okay. Nuclear. Should I take a -4 to get KDB and Rafinha for Mount and Jota? And how long should I keep Ronaldo? Is his question.
Ronaldo is such an enigma this year. I just never know what you're going to get. You keep Ronaldo. Well, I mean, the thing is, the fixtures aren't bad, and there's definitely doubles to come. It's a really hard place to be because I feel like he's never that far away from a big haul, and then when he has good fixtures, it's really hard. So I don't like to sell someone ahead of good fixtures. I'm just having a look at some of his stats so I can find some. I mean, they haven't been as good recently, obviously. But he's still shooting quite a lot. So 11 shots in the box is the joint third best in the league. Now, his accuracy's dropped off quite a lot. He's just had 2 on target. But it is Ronaldo, so he is going to keep on shooting. And that average of shots on target to shots in the box is surely, you would say that where he is right now is not him reverting to the mean because it's Ronaldo. Him reverting to the norm would be for those shots on target to come back up. And so with the fixtures, I would probably hold on to him for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, again, it depends what kind of manager you are and what kind of season you feel like you're in.
I feel pained. I feel pained by owning him right now. Like as soon as he got taken off the pitch, I was like, I want to sell him. I'm so done with him now.
Yeah.
But then
I get the frustration.
You see his little yellow flag has been taken away, and you see he's up against West Ham, and all of a sudden you start to rethink everything again, and you think, oh, maybe that's the fixture he'll pay me something back in.
That's the thing. And that feeling is always more prevalent with me than it is, I think, with other people. I'm a lot more patient.
Yeah.
Should I be that patient? Not always. That's not always the right decision, but I'm always more inclined towards patience. So, if they want my opinion rather than necessarily the right thing to do, because I'm sure those are 2 completely different things, I would probably hold him. But he wanted to take a -4. And can you remind we got
to get KDB and Rafinha for Mount and Jota.
It's kind of annoying. Like Mount, a couple of weeks ago, I was really considering Mount, and I didn't get him, and I felt very fortunate because I think it was the week that he ended up being benched. And looking at his stats recently, I mean, they're not like amazing. So He's in the last 4, he's created 7 chances, none of which are big chances. He's only shot 3 times in the box, no big chances, 2 shots on target. So it's definitely sellable, especially when you consider that. I mean, technically, he's not nailed because nobody is at Chelsea. Let's be honest. So I mean, I think he's quite an easy sell.
Hey, don't talk about Rudiger like that.
Very rude. How very rude of me.
How very rude of you. Yeah, exactly.
Should this actually just add a little bit in? If people want to know more about the Tuchel rotation policy, so my new job, I obviously work for the newspaper in Plymouth now, or again because I used to work for them before, went to scout, and now I've come back. Plymouth Argyle, they're playing them playing Chelsea in the FA Cup in the 4th round at Stamford Bridge. So I'm actually going to be going to that game for work, and I'm planning to be in the post-match press conference with Thomas Tuchel. So over the next couple of weeks, I want to try and amass as many questions that fantasy managers actually want to know. Okay. And I'm going to try and ask Thomas Tuchel. And we'll see what he says. I'm not actually going to say the word fantasy football to him because if I say that, he'll just instantly be like, I'm not going to talk about that. So I'm going to try and ask him really insightful selection-based questions.
Try and find your way around it.
To try and get as much information as I can to help fantasy managers make decisions about Chelsea players moving forward. So if anyone has any of those questions they want to ask, just DM me on Twitter and I'm going to be making a list. So that's just a little interlude over. Obviously, with the whole right now, I think Mount, you could sell him because you can't guarantee he's going to play unless we find out in that post-match press conference after the FA Cup that he can tell us exactly when and where Mount will play. Unlikely, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So it's getting rid of him, getting in for Rafinha. Well, I mean, I've already waxed lyrical about Rafinha, so I feel like that's a bit of an easy switch. But Jota, I mean,
he has fallen off without Mane and Salah.
He has, but then the thing is when they're back.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. They are still. He is still going to be worth having when they're back. It's just, I suppose, when are they coming back, and that's obviously up in the air. Yeah. At this point. But the thing is, he's still. It's a bit like Ronaldo. He's not. It's not like he's not trying. He's had 12 shots in the box last 4. The only player with more than that is Kane.
Right.
So he is trying. Right, and it's a bit, again, like Ronaldo, the accuracy is what's killing him here because it's just 3 shots on target from those 12 in the box.
Yeah.
Now, we obviously have historically much less data on Jota than we do Ronaldo. In that, Ronaldo has been like a goal-scoring force for like 15 years, whereas we have seen Jota have periods where he doesn't score. So what is the norm for Jota? Do we really know yet? Is the norm him banging in the goals, or is the norm him hitting the post all the time?
Yeah. I hope it's the former rather than the latter because I remember doing a prediction video before the start of the season and I had him as one of the highest scoring midfielders, players of the season. So hoping it's the former.
Well, yeah, I mean, I still own him, so I hope as well.
Same.
So hard to know, but I mean, the thing is, when he's hit, there have been a couple of times when fine, he's missed some big chances, but he is still getting them. So I would probably hold him if I owned him, and I do, and therefore I shall. And then De Bruyne, like I said, I'm a big fan, but I mean, at 12-1, you're thinking about restructure at this point, and actually on current form, if you
think it depends on how much money you have in the bank, really, doesn't it? So, and if you've got Ronaldo, then maybe not that much money in the bank.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I suppose, and the other thing, I mean, obviously, I know he's asking this question based on the fact that he's got Ronaldo, which means he probably doesn't have Bruno. But if I was being asked to choose between a premium midfielder right now and it was De Bruyne or Bruno, I'd probably go Bruno.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah.
No, I like it.
Hypothetical, of course, but yeah.
Of course. Just before we show David's team, because Nuclear actually asked, I just want to shout out that FPL Focal is in the chat. Welcome, Focal. Absolute celeb. 8th in the world, I think you're at now, buddy. So well done. If anybody who hasn't, probably has, but for anyone who hasn't checked out his channel, please do go do that because he's a brilliant manager and he's smashing it on YouTube at the moment. Great content. But yes, here is David's team for Atoms. Here you go, buddy. So David, would you like to quickly talk us through your team there?
Yeah, is it? I assume you're showing them points for the most recent game week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pull that up as well. Yeah, it's quite funny. Someone earlier on in the chat was like, he always makes boring moves, and the thing is, by the way, I don't take offense to that because it's normally true, and it's how I like to play the game. But this week I took a -8, which is so unlike me, and
Hello.
I don't really know why.
Hello, Batches or David. What's that about?
I know. I feel a bit stupid, really, because the -8 was to get Dennis, Gordon. Well, I wasn't trying to get Gordon. I wanted Dennis and Kane, and therefore I needed to get Gordon to facilitate that.
Right.
And it sort of worked. I mean, like Kane got the 11 points, so I'm kind of happy with that. But obviously, I already had King, and I loved Watford's double game week. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And
same.
yeah, obviously just didn't materialize. But the thing is, I don't mind necessarily having some of these players now. I mean, I look at the list of teams that have a lot of doubles to come, and or I'll have some nice doubles to come anyway. And I'm involved in them. So Spurs obviously have 3 to come: Burnley, Brighton, and Arsenal. Watford have Palace, Wolves, and Burnley to go into the schedule. Leicester, who I've got Maddison, who obviously got me something as well. But I've actually had Maddison since I wildcarded Game Week 20. So, but I mean, obviously, Chelsea away, Norwich at home, Everton away, Burnley away, really nice there. So I'm kind of like I'm trying to be as set up as I can, so that when the doubles come along, I don't need to take hits and deploy chips.
Yeah.
That's so when I wildcarded in Game Week 20, I looked at Ben Crellin's spreadsheet of teams that basically had the most doubles originally scheduled, because obviously a lot of them have been cancelled now, and tried to do as many of them as could, because a lot of people were planning on free hitting 21 and 22, and I didn't think they were really that free hittable. So I felt like if I can align my squad to have the most of the players that would be on a free hit anyway, then I can save my free hit for, as I said, near the top. I like to use it when not many people are using it. I like to use it on, I pretty much use it on the same game week every season. The FA Cup quarterfinals, they come in about 31, and they basically reduce you to 6 matches tops, maybe 5, maybe 4 sometimes.
Yeah.
And then what tends to happen is everyone plays the free hit because they look at their team and they only have 4 players. I tend to dead end into that game week and then wildcard after it, and then free hit when the semi-finals get in the way. And so then that your team does go down to 7 or 8 instead of down to 4 or 5 active players. But that means that fewer people play the free hit, which means your free hit is more effective. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking. And like I said, at the moment, it's just trying to be on as many of these doubles that pop up without needing to wildcard or free hit or what have you. So yeah, hopefully that explains why my team looks the way it does.
I'm jealous because my other moves this week, when I was considering taking a -4, was instead of Ronaldo and Trossard, was Bruno and King. For exactly the same reasons, pretty much. Was even if Watford don't get a double game week this week, I would have him for further down the line for other game weeks, and I quite liked his single fixture. So I'm fairly jealous right now of your of your setup. I have to admit. Apparently, Focal after last night has dropped to 25th, but hey, 25th, I mean, wow.
the doldrums.
How terrible. You would be happy with that, wouldn't you? No, he's still smashing it. I would snap
someone's arm off for that,
yeah. That's pretty good. Cool, right, okay, let's get back to les questions then. And we got Nuclear Focus. We have Megtavius. He says, hi guys, hoping we're having a good day. King is currently captain on Bus team, but with only 1 assist in the last 6 games. Is the fact he's playing Norwich an armband trap, especially with the likes of Bruno, Jota, Antonio and Sterling and Watkins in his team? Oof. So here comes the captaincy question for the week. What are we thinking, David?
So I want to look at some numbers on this. So Watkins, King, Bruno, right? I want to get them all on the screen at the same time so I can assess them all on their merits. Fernandes, King, and who's the other one? Watkins. Anyone else? Who else was he thinking about? His captaincy.
So he's got Bruno, Jota, Antonio, Sterling, and Watkins.
There we go. Sterling, Antonio, and Jota. Right. I love to just get a mega.
Okay.
A mega matrix.
And apparently my watch list video is out on Scout now, but don't all run off. Wait until the stream is finished.
Right. Yeah. Sorry to delay people. Right.
It's all good. It's all good. So, I'm sure Megtavius will be happy to wait.
So King, I own King as well, but the thing is I own Dennis, and so if I was going to captain either of them, it would be him. Okay. But looking at King on his own merits, So recently he's been playing more central than Dennis. Dennis has been playing out wide. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a problem. It kind of sometimes depends on who someone's playing against. So for example, when they're playing Newcastle really bad at defending down the left-hand side. And so therefore Dennis being on the right was actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Norwich, like not that they're not really in the same realm of terrible down defending down the side than Newcastle. And actually, although annoyingly for King owners, their best defensive area is the middle because they've conceded more chances on the left and the right than they have to in the middle. So maybe that's something that we count against King if his particular area is not somewhere that Norwich are weak. The thing with King, his stats aren't like terrible. Like he's had a number of big chances. He's had 3, which is not too bad. But he's had 4 shots on target, which isn't amazing, and his goal conversion in the last 4 is 0. And so then that's not very good. You know, this is a classic form versus fixture, and so then if you've got Bruno, I would probably captain him. I'm just looking at all those options. I've listed them together, and
I think if I had Bruno, I'd captain him as well.
Yeah, if you're looking at the best captain, you're always looking for the person who has the best double figure haul potential. I would say that's got to be what you're aiming for, which means someone who's capable of assists and goals. Obviously, I mean, it sounds really obvious to say it, I suppose, but like that's who I'll be looking for. So then looking at the stats on those 6 players mentioned, while he's not shooting like loads in the box, he's had the same number of big chances as King. He's had the same number of shots on target as King, but his goal conversion is 33%, so way higher. His minutes per expected goal involvement is 1 every 168 minutes, which of the 6 players that he's got, the only 2 that are better than that are Sterling and Antonio. But I mean, I still don't really feel like I can trust Antonio. And Sterling, obviously, you don't know if he's going to start. Then bringing it back around to assist potential, you know, of all these guys, Bruno's created more chances than them all, and he's created 3 big chances. That's the joint second best in the last 4 in the whole league, and it's way better than all these other guys. So from the 6 he's got, I feel like if I own those 6 and I was running some numbers on who I would captain, it would be Bruno. And the great thing is I can say that with full confidence because I don't own him. So therefore, when it comes to the deadline, if I still don't own him, I don't have to captain him. I don't have to be one of those people that has to take his own advice.
True. So, and the one player I noticed he is missing off this list, and I do happen to know that he doesn't own Boeing, who I currently have my captaincy on. So Wow. And who do you currently have your captaincy on, David?
Well, my captaincy is currently on Dennis, but only because I haven't changed it yet.
Okay.
So that's it. I don't set bus. I used to do bus teams all the time, and then this season it's made me think, what's the point? What is the point? It's all going to change.
It's all going to change by the time you get there. Exactly.
So
okay. Yeah. All right then. We'll just kind of try and whiz through a couple more of these then, and FPL Focus, I've seen him in the chat. Hey, buddy. Oh, just before I do that, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please do like and subscribe. Very much grateful. And this is hopefully going to be a bit more of a regular fixture on my channel. Not sure about next week yet, but definitely going forward from international break. So, yeah. So please do like and sub if you're enjoying. Focus's question my question is, do I go with Rafinha, Newcastle captaincy, or KDB against Southampton? Would be very helpful, thanks. So, captain Rafinha or captain KDB is Focus's question.
Well, I mean, I feel like I trust him more than I trust me. I mean, 25th in the world. What do you think, mate?
No, this is Focus rather than Focal.
Oh, really? Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. Oh, I see, now I look a complete mug. I should focus better.
I see what you did there.
Turn it around again. So, okay, I'm going to try and do this how I would have done it if I owned both players, which is I'll start off by looking at the defences of both teams. So we're looking at Southampton and Newcastle.
Newcastle, yeah.
So fixture-wise, Newcastle is obviously a more favourable fixture. In the last 4 matches, their expected goals conceded, so they should have conceded 8.7 goals, which is the 3rd worst in the league. Only Leeds and Leicester are worse off than that. And of course, that's completely unsurprising, because that's how Eddie Howe runs his football clubs, with shoddy defences. Always has done. So, of course, Southampton's is 6.98, and that is the 9th worst. So, I mean, it's basically it's mid-table. So, Newcastle are clearly the better team to be against. So then De Bruyne and Rafinha, in terms of what they've offered, so like if they're kind of like level with each other, probably go Rafinha. So it's just whether or not there's like a massive gulf between what De Bruyne and Rafinha can offer.
Yeah.
And there isn't really. Like, to be honest, I think Rafinha still is the better option when you compare the two. So he's got the better fixture anyway. Rafinha's created 3 big chances. De Bruyne has created 2. This is in the last 4, by the way. Then he's had 6 shots in the box. De Bruyne has had 5. He's had 2 big chances. De Bruyne has had none. Now, he has only had 1 shot on target and De Bruyne has had 5. But in terms of minutes per expected goal involvement, Rafinha's is higher, or lower actually, as in it's more often. So he has a expected goal involvement every 181 minutes. De Bruyne's is 259. So between those two, Rafinha is offering mostly better stats, touching the ball in the box more as well, and Newcastle's worst defence. So even though the price would normally sway people, like if I sat there with both of those players, I would be captaining Rafinha. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I think I probably would as well. I might go for a bit of a punt on that one. I think, although yeah, no, I think I would as well. Focus and Focus says everyone gets them confused, and to be fair, they often have on Twitter, so it's it's quite amusing. I've had a couple more notifications here, so we'll just do there's 2 more I noticed, so we'll do these 2 and then we'll wrap up. This is the first one. I'm not even going to pretend I know how to say your name, buddy, so I'll call you Harry for short. I hope that's okay. He says, second wild card, use game week 21, all other chips in place, Reguilon to Digne and Fernandez to KDB from -4, or Fernandez to Foden, Reguilon to 8, Nori, fund Jota to Salah in 24, keeping Kane, which in a few weeks might be a good placeholder. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, I like that. The second one, the second one sounds good, especially as it means you get in on the Wolves defense as well, because they've been ticking along very much under the radar.
Yeah,
the goalkeeper especially has been.
I have been. Anyone on this channel absolutely knows I've been banging on about Wolves defense for weeks. I don't have them myself, but every week I'm like, buy them. I'm not buying them, somebody buy them. And I think actually that FPL Focus did do that. He did buy on my on my advice. So yeah, he got Cody, I think, last week, so we got him a goal, even though he didn't get him clean sheet.
Yeah, Wolves defense is good and their fixtures are decent too. Brentford, Arsenal, Spurs and Leicester not amazing. But the thing is, if he's getting 8 Nori, he can rotate him in and out, no problem. He's not going to feel bad about benching him for some of those fixtures. And if you're and this is what I was saying earlier, if he's already thinking about his plan to get back Salah, then perfect. Like find some way to do it in a way that's not that painful.
My only thing is I would hold off. So what I would do is this week I would do Reguilon to 8 Nori, and then next week do the -4. So keep Fernandez another week, have another look at how he's doing, what the situation is there with Ronaldo, make sure that Salah is definitely coming back, and all of that sort of stuff. And then take your -4 when you know that's happening. By then you'll know a bit more about whether you want to go Foden, or you may want to go for a Coutinho, or anyone else, Rafinha potentially, because you don't have either of those people instead, who are slightly cheaper than Foden. And that is what I'd say. I'd pretty much kind of hold off another game week on that particular one and keep Fernandez. Yeah, and you've got your your placeholder back to Salah then. So that's what I would say on that one. And it saves you the hit as well. So the last one we're going to do on here is Bardi Boys. He says, currently have 1 free transfer with 5.1 million in the bag. Which options would you be preferring? Trossard plus Johnson to Digne and Rafinha. Allows Rudiger plus Bernardo to 8 Nori and Salah in game week 24-25, or Trossard plus Bernardo to KDB and Rafinha, but I need to sell Ron to get route to Salah and sell Rudiger as he blanks.
I feel like the first one sounds better, especially because there's some nice rhyming in there.
Yeah.
Dina and Rafinha.
Rafinha.
That sounds like, great comedy duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I prefer that one.
I think I do, actually, just looking at it. Yeah, I think I do as well, looking at it.
I feel like, and so I don't say this to be rude, I feel like in a way I think he already knows that the first one is better. because he, the way that he's described the second one, he's saying, but I need to sell. There's a but in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Hopefully, I'm helping him help himself. If he feels like the second idea kind of makes him go like, then the first one's better.
Yeah, agreed. I can't put it better than that myself, actually. So, guys, I know I said we would do some questions in the chat, but actually we haven't had that many. So, in the live chat, but next time we'll try and do a bit more variety between the two. Thank you all for joining us on this first stream, this new series. We've had a peaked about 45 of you, so thank you very, very much. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the channel and the content and the live streams and this stream in particular. And I also have left a link to David's Twitter down below, so from there you can find out how to buy his book and follow him and all that fabulous stuff. Nucleus says, Nim, your new range of videos are stacked in variety. You've got reaction stream, team selections, 5 things, Bergie, Q&A Monday, and deadline stream. Woohoo! Yes, I'm a busy bunny at the moment. So thank you everyone for sticking with me, and glad you're all enjoying it. And I guess until next time, it's a goodbye from me and a goodbye from David.
Yeah, well, I think it's goodbye. Yeah, that's what you say at the end, isn't it? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
goodbye from
that
me.
one. Yeah. Okay, we will catch you guys soon. Thanks very much for joining us. Bye, guys.
Spot.